So our next presenter, help me to welcome Dawn Verbrigghe of Jottful.
Hello, my name is Dawn Verbrigghe, and I'm the founder and CEO of Jottful. At Jottful, we are reimagining the way small business owners make and maintain their websites. But I'm here to talk to you about something different today. Imagine you have a brilliant idea. This is something the market desperately needs, is willing to pay for, and that for some reason nobody else is doing yet. Now, what would your life look like if you took this idea and turned it into a business? What would it look like 6 months from now? What would it look like 10 years from now? Think about it. 10 years from now, what are you doing? Are you sitting on a beach somewhere? Are you running a multinational corporation? Or do you have a book deal and an adjunct professorship? There's a certain path we all imagine because we've heard this story told so many times before. You start a business with a couple of your buddies, maybe in a garage. You build your dream product, people buy it, and then all of a sudden it goes viral, and the next thing you know, your company IPOs, and you become so famous that even your parents know what it is you do for a living. If we were to take this story and plot it as a line, it would look something like this. This is the proverbial hockey stick of exponential growth. But the reality is not quite so simple. Let's take a story we're probably all familiar with. Back in the 70s, a couple of guys named Bill Gates and Paul Allen started a software business. They wanted to harness the computing power of the age and apply it to meet an unaddressed market need. And that business, of course, was traffic data. Yeah, traffic data. Their software made it faster and cheaper for traffic engineers to read the results of traffic surveys. You know, the kind they take with those hoses they're always running across the road. Now look, this business wasn't a huge success. But Gates and Allen regrouped. And they took what they learned about building a software product and building a software business, and they applied it to a much, much larger market. Because that initial idea of ours rarely survives first contact with the market. Iteration is inevitable, and it is constant. And that's why you can think of this growth curve as actually looking a lot more like this. All right, so we've got a product, we've got a market, we've got product market fit. We're off to the races, right? No. Oh, no. In fact, this is where things get hard, real hard. I'm talking Lawrence of Arabia. One man on a horse with nothing but sandhill after sandhill ahead. Optimism dries up. Enthusiasm wanes. And you start to realize that your growth curve looks a lot more like this. Oh, the heroic tales of entrepreneurship, just yada, 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 right over this part. But maybe you've heard the story of the Airbnb founders and how they designed and sold collective boxes of cereal just to pay off their ballooning credit card debt. And then they actually lived off of 300 leftover boxes of Captain McCain's. Now, this story is kind of funny, and maybe even it's a little bit exciting. But the reality is, none of us wants to eat Captain McCain's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This is what Gail Goodman, the former CEO of Constant Contact, referred to as the long, slow SaaS ramp of death. And when we're living on this ramp, all we can think is, when am I going to experience that up and to the right growth? I realize I'm on a ramp, but even a ramp has a slope. And that's when it occurs to you that your growth has actually been kind of stepwise. You unlock a new marketing channel, the leads come rushing in for a while. You hire a new sales rep, your pipeline fills up for a while. And this ramp actually looks a lot more like a staircase. And guess what? Not everyone on your team is going to be climbing all these stairs with you. In fact, there's a good chance you won't be climbing up all these stairs yourself. Because all of a sudden one day, your board of directors says, guess what? We have a brand new role for you. You used to be the CEO, but now this new position has been created just for you. Congratulations, you're the new Chief Visionary Officer. Look, I know what you're all thinking. But the reality is that somewhere between the Series B and Series C round of funding, founder CEOs become the minority. So look, I get it. I get at this point, most of you have said, that idea of mine, maybe not so brilliant after all. And back when I was talking about the cereal, I heard one of these gentlemen in the front row say, I think I'll just be a venture capitalist instead. But some of you, a few of you, look at this and don't just see some wacky line. What you see is actually a series of dots. And you know that every single one of these dots represents a new challenge, a new experience, and a new opportunity to learn and to grow. And you, my friend, are an entrepreneur. Thank you.